fire away with any questions you have. We'll start doing questions. I'm just going to change pics because this is a bit aggressive. Where I've put my pic back. Cover a Guthrie Govan song. I can't without getting demonetized. Depends what you're looking for. I'd consider the HX Stomp as well if you're looking at the Podgo. It depends on what exactly you're wanting to do, but the HX Stomp can do a few things that the Podgo can't do. And the Podgo has one extra snapshot, but aside from that, there's obvious similarities. But for me, I think I use the HX Stomp more. If I wasn't gigging live, I think I'd have the HX Stomp generally, whereas the Podgo with that extra snapshot and the extra buttons and stuff would be really useful live. actually drop an EP, and I think it might even be on Spotify right now if you do look for it. I think it's called 7 Good Days a Week, 7 Good Days a Year. Sorry, I think it is up there. Andrew, although I know someone at 2 Notes and I've got the Captor X, I haven't got any plans to check out the Cab M Plus at the moment. I'm more trying to get rid of some gear, if anything. But I hear good things about it. Any other questions from people? I'm going to try and play some George Benson in a second. Producing the JC Book of Impressive Chords. Fridays are my chord day, where I kind of go down a rabbit hole of looking at chords that I'm interested in, like Alan Holdsworth, Eric Johnson stuff, or this week it was kind of looking at spread triads. Make a video on playing music in a minor key. Do you mean actual minor? So in my eyes, I don't have big hands, no. Big hands compared to my face maybe, but they're pretty normal hands. I have quite a wide span because I used to play piano. Right, what were the other questions there? Oh, that was Bull God. But yeah. So when we're talking about minor keys, so I think of this kind of thing. So we're starting with a B minor. That kind of thing. I don't really think as minor. I think of it as either Aeolian or just kind of it's kind of a mode of the major scale, if that makes sense. Whereas that thing might be. Whereas that I would see as minor. So there's this guitar won't stay in tune today. Any other questions on the stuff? Or should we try and do this George Benson tune? Sounding okay as well, by the way. I've got the most warm hands still. Try and do that warm up that I. Ugh, can't do anything. This is going to go really well, isn't it? So Joseph, I actually think that major keys sound sadder than a minor key. Let me just give you a demonstration. that sounds sadder than a minor key. But I guess I could do some thinking about minor stuff. I use an JBL LSR 305s. Something else to warm up a sec. Feel free to ask more questions. Right, should we try and play some George Benson? Last week on the stream someone requested George Benson's Affirmation, so that's the tune that I've been working on this week. I'm going to put the backing track up on Patreon. But let me know if there's any part of it that you want me to kind of do some chord stuff or something on it. I would use a melodic minor key if I wanted it to sound dark. mysterious sounding keys. I'll talk about that epi in a bit, Johan. Let's see what we can do. Right. Hopefully this is going to come through. 1, 2, 3. Something like that. Sorry about that. Right, let me just pause that and put my glasses back on. So that's my take on whatever that was called. Hey Ruben, how you doing? Lenny is hopefully not going to hijack the stream. So that was my attempt at Affirmation by George Benson. Initially a tune by someone else, I believe. But my living is made via music, so online here and stuff. I've got no idea when 3.0 will come out. I feel like maybe it's soon, but not sure. Anyway, should we talk a little bit about that affirmation thing and what I'm thinking for any of it, or is that interesting or not? Probably not. Let me exit that. So I'm thinking of this tune. You see the key signature is D major. It's going between the E minor and the B minor. And then we basically, if you see, I don't know what bar it is, but there's this, which is essentially sunny, right? So that's how I'm thinking of that. So that's you're on chord 6, and then you're basically doing a 2-5-1 into G, and then that E7, we're implying that we're in A major for that part. So you can either solo with that part in E major, or you can also use a kind of jazzy thing, which would be to play B melodic minor for that. Anyway, that's how I'm thinking of that tune. So ask any questions you might have about that if you do, but we'll talk about other stuff for now. Any tips for full-time earning from guitar? Is a question. I'm not really sure. I'm 31 now, and it took me a long time to get to a point where I was able to earn at all. And up to this point, my main gigging income was actually from piano anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm a good person to give advice. I would say don't bother chasing the money. Even the best paid guitarists are probably not earning anywhere near as much as like an average lawyer, if that makes sense. So that might be something to consider. But if you really love music and stuff, there's a chance that some people can make money. I think things like function gigs are probably the way forward, and gigging in like pub bands, cafes, weddings, gigs that aren't particularly prestigious or whatever, but are actually where the money is. Original musicians, people playing original music or jazz. I don't feel like there's many people that actually make much money. I didn't go to music school. No, I did 2 years at a university, but in a course called commercial music, where I didn't learn a single thing. Have I thought of trying or making a guitar with just a neck pickup? I have one, Jason. I have the Herb Ellis. Do we have any other requests while here? I've thought I might try and play I Fall in Love Too Easily. Alright, you mean an S type. I think it would look a bit weird though, wouldn't it? Oh, sorry about that. Under a Glass Moon. This is the Deluxe SS. Yes. Chet Baker's version. Now that's my favourite. That's the first version I heard as well. No, I go direct in anytime you're hearing me play any of the devices. Yeah, I love Chet Baker's version of pretty much everything, to be fair. I think the first song that I heard of Chet Baker's was I Get Along Without You Very Well. Something like that. Maybe I could do that in a better key. Let's find a better key than that. What key should I play it in? I'm going to get the other guitar because this one's been annoying. I'll also be right back. Feel free to leave some questions a sec. Proper guitar. Do you teach guitar music? Not. I have like 1 or 2 students. Oh dear. I learn by ear, yeah, not really tabs. Yes, Joseph, pretty much always in standard tuning unless it's drop D. It's going really well with Mark. There's yeah, I think it's coming out at the end of this month. 27th of November, somewhere around then. But there's some previews on YouTube already. My biggest influences: Eric Johnson. I've learned music theory, yeah. I had piano lessons from the age of 5. Right, Des. Here's Fenton. It's unfortunate he's not supposed to be here. For beginners, I don't know, just learn however you can learn. I think it's good to practice doing some bits by ear. Do maybe a mixture of both. Don't rely simply on tabs if you can avoid that. But also don't jump into just trying to learn everything by ear all of a sudden. I don't think that's necessarily a way to get the best out of it. day. I'm basically playing guitar most of the day. But I don't know whether you would call it practice. It's just playing. Right, let's try and do something else. Fire away any other questions you might have. I'm maybe going to try and play. Where is that delay coming from? Right, I'm going to try and play one of the backings that I was messing around with earlier this morning. The one that I think Jason wants to put on Patreon. Sajid, he's in Bristol, isn't he, Tim? You right? I use hybrid picking for jazz stuff, but generally just to pick for other things. Right, so Dan has asked, I'm doing okay, Ruben. I hope you're doing okay in Portugal. How's it going with studying and stuff? When it comes to getting good tone with a helix or whatever, I guess maybe start off from a point where you already have a few things that you like. I've had the J Rocket Holdsworth OD pedal. I've had two of them. What am I saying? Yeah, so start off from a patch that you already like, maybe, or like a cab that you already like, or don't start off completely from scratch. I find that might be a good thing. So maybe you switch one thing out on a tone that you like at a time. So for instance, I might have like specific delays and reverbs that I like the sound of. Yeah. And then maybe just explore new things one at a time. Hey, Truth Guitar Method. Yeah, maybe that's the idea. I did sell it. Yeah, I just didn't find it worked with all of my amps. Are you having to work from home, Ruben, or? So Tony, the way that I've generally always learned is just by following the things that interest me, enjoy. Do I use the Mesa a lot? Anyway, sorry. What am I saying? This is really hard to pay attention to. I use all of the Mesas a lot, yeah. Sit down and practice. So just find something that makes you want to practice it. So that might be a specific lick that someone's done a video on, or it might be a video that you saw someone playing something. So whether it might be that sort of thing. I'm an awful guitar player, Chief Guitar Method. So yeah, just find the things that make you want to sit and play guitar. So whether it's a song, or whether it's some part of someone's playing, whatever it is, that's what I would advise. I don't think there's any point necessarily in learning things that you're not interested in, and just follow your interests. That's the way I've done it anyway. Follow what inspires you. Roberto, you could just grab something on. I can't speak in French, but Johan might be able to translate for me. That was a Matteo Mancuso line, by the way. It's not me, but I'll just give an example of the sort of thing that I might break down. I already have done. It's on my channel. If you look up Matteo Mancuso 137 note line, I think that's what I called the video. I use my Helix more than the Kemper. I think maybe the Kemper might be slightly easier to get some decent tones out of, maybe. I don't know, if you're going from scratch. Okay, so you're doing like online classes. Roberto, you could just buy something on my Bandcamp and send me a message on there saying, can I have the FM3 presets? I'll do that. Chords to spice up a blues progression. So my main thing is like this. So say you're in A blues. So our standard thing might be. So that's like the very basic thing, right? So one of the main things that I like to do to spruce that up is that the approach to the bar where you do each change, go either a fret below or a fret above, a fret below or above the, whatchamacallit. So here we go, what are we dealing with? So what am I doing? Sorry, we're doing blues, right? Yeah. That's the sort of thing that I do a lot of. So for that change, you go up to the E flat before you come back down to the chord 4, and then maybe approach the A from the G, and then the F above the E, which is chord 5. My favourite blues player. Do I really have one? I don't know. It's a good question. Not really. Gary Moore, I guess. The best and worst thing about the Helix. Let me try and think about that. The best and worst thing. I guess the best thing is the ability to run like some bigger patches where you've got, so like most of the time I use an HX Stomp, but with the Helix I can do kind of twice as much with that, which is useful. The worst thing about it, I guess, in a way, I don't have a bag for it or anything, so I've never really gigged with my full Helix. I've gigged with the HX Stomp because it fits on a pedal board, so maybe size might be a factor for some people. It's not necessarily lightweight either, but it's kind of solidly built. Oh, that's a thing. Sometimes if I've used it in the loop of an amp, I end up getting a ground loop hum, which is why I needed this to get rid of that. So ground loop might be a thing if you're using full cable method. That's a not so good thing. But yeah, I'm not really a blues player, I wouldn't say, but that's things that I would do with the that sort of thing. I guess you call them kind of chromatic approach chords or something like that, if you wanted a name for that. Yeah, Johann's one of my favourite blues players actually. Actually, Robin Ford. I've never played Comfortably Numb. I can try and do a version of it at some stage, but I don't know what the song goes like. Sorry. I use Reaper, which is quite reasonably priced, and I think you can do a free trial. Oh, Charlie Allen actually is a really cool guitarist, and I don't know if he defined himself as a blues player, but I hear a lot of blues in his playing, so I'm going to say he's a great blues player. A way to make a single guitar sound less twangy. Mids, I guess, would be the thing. Mids and maybe touch as well. But I think brightness is not necessarily a bad thing in a guitar. Piano guitar duet. Yeah, I'm not very good at either. A blues player looking to break into more jazz fusion stuff. So maybe I would think about trying to find some stuff which is, so tunes like All Blues, which is a tune by Miles Davis. And that will probably sound kind of familiar to you. So, oh yeah, Matt Schofield, cool player as well. So maybe if you're trying to get into jazz fusion, that might be a good place. Then things like, what else? Larry Carlton. Check out some Larry Carlton stuff. Larry Carlton does kind of a lot of bluesy stuff, but also fusiony stuff, and I think there's a good blend there. Or maybe someone like Alan Hines, or those kind of people. I've not played in any real bands, Peter. Given that I am a nobody. Don't I have one of his signature guitars? Who are we talking about? Oh, Larry Carlton. Yeah, that's a signature guitar, isn't it? Sound cutting out for anyone? Hopefully not. Let me know if it is. Yeah, I've got a Larry Carlton sire up there, which I play on the channel quite a bit. Jim is here. I can't say I've listened to much Steely Dan, but I do know that I like a guy called Theo Katzman, who I think one of his kind of favourite things is Steely Dan. Alex, I'll put it up once I've done this stream. Well, I can just do it whilst we're here. Actually, yeah, I'll just do it now if you want. Which backing track specifically are you talking about? So this is, I'm going to upload for now the one that Jason wanted. So that'll be up on Patreon for anyone who wants it, along with all my others. Feel free to fire away any further questions you have, guys. That's a curtain. Right, so now that Jim's here, we can do my intro. So there's been a lot of talk from people on the channel, and they're saying that I've got bad lighting, they're saying that I've got dreadful lighting, they're saying my lighting's awful, and are you a curtain bro because you're throwing shade? It's the quip that I thought of. Alright. Danny Gatton, I've only played one song. And it was cool, but I've not listened to too much more of him. That one, I think that's called Song for Lenny. Hi Steve. Right, I think that is live now. Right, has anyone got any questions? Play New York. Oh yeah, what's that one going? Isn't it called Brooklyn? Is that the tune you mean? And we're going to do it with the middle pickup. 3, 4. Yeah, the rhythm and all of that stuff's done in Reaper. Anyway, that's my take on that. Right, any other things we want to talk about? Has anyone got any idea what I could do with that George Benson backing track, and what you want me to write out that would make it useful? No, I don't use the diminished scale. Secret herbs and spices, it's a real issue, and I think the question you need to ask yourself is, why don't other channels have all of those women looking for husbands in their comments? Is it something that I'm bringing to the world? Maybe these Russian people are just really into jazz. That's a very distinct possibility. Maybe they really like dodgy guitar playing. Maybe they're into DIYs. What I was trying to say there. Specifically curtains. A lot of them probably need curtains. The reasons that they're jumping into my comments, there could be a whole bunch of them, couldn't there? It's also, maybe I'm good at attracting lonely men. I hadn't thought of that. That's less flattering, though, isn't it, when you say that? Yeah. I think the weird thing is, you see that those channels sort of change over time, and I think they were for a bit of time called like Trap Town NCS. And things like that, which is weird. and then they gradually like change their name. They morph to things like Tom, and then gradually change to like now they're just people looking for my advice on how to find a man. Yes, I do remote session recordings. So like that was how I was approached for the what's it called? Mark Kelly's marathon band thing. Aldi Miola talks about his internal clock that's linked to his heartbeat and it never wavers, and he said some people have it and some people don't. So I'd say it would waver if he had a heart attack. No, what I'd really say is that there seem to be some people that have better natural time than others, and you might notice this. So I've had to work on my time and still do a lot, and I don't think my time is very good, unfortunately, so it's something I have to work on loads. There are people out there that seem to be naturally better at timing for some reason. I don't know what it is, so maybe Aldi Miola is right about that. Yeah. It's just one of those things, unfortunately, isn't it? I've got it here. I think I've got it here. It's right here, Ruben. I just think it's going to attract a magpie if I put it back on. And clearly we already got too many birds on the channel, innit? Jumping into the comments. Right, anyone on Patreon get any idea how I can do something useful with that George Benson tune that I've been working on? Alright, if you play everything in E, what I would encourage you to do is just every day play something in a different key, so maybe play along with other stuff. I use flat wound strings on the Gibson. I work on my timing and technique, or trying to consciously be better at it all. That's just the Deluxe SS. No, don't get a capo. He's it's bad. Can I talk about the upcoming release? I think there should be some videos where I am talking about it that come out. But yeah, basically I got a message from a guy called Mark Kelly, and he said, "Hi, I'm Mark Kelly from the band Marillion," and yeah, he said I was looking for someone to play some guitar on some stuff, and Steve, who's the guitarist from Marillion, recommended you as a player who I might like, and would you like to be involved? So I said yeah, and then he sent me some tracks and stuff, and basically just said, could you, the first tune Amelia has been released, and that was the first one that I worked on. He just sent me it and said, could you try coming up with some solos for this bit and any other guitars you want. And so I just sent him back some stuff, and we went back and forth, and then eventually he kind of sent me all of the tracks on the album, and yeah, gradually I kind of got more involved with it. So yeah, I don't really tend to use it with an amp so much anyway, Dan, so I've done a little bit of full cable, but as I said earlier, it tends to introduce a bit of hum, which is why I got the Behringer HT400, which gets rid of some of that hum. But I used to take the HX Stomp out and just plug that into an amp, and I'd send out a parallel send with just maybe a delay on it, and that would go to my amp, I think, and maybe a drive at the front of the thing. The Quad Cortex, do you think that's going to come out this year? So this was something that I worked on consciously, by the way. Someone asked, Nivrat asked about, who said I'd just play an E? Someone did. Oh, Andrew Rickman said I play everything in E. And I think early on when I was about like 12 or something, I had this idea that I'd be a session guitarist. And a friend of the family used to work in a studio, and he said, make sure you can play in every single key. And so that's been my thing for a long time now. It's like just play in whatever key, and be able to be comfortable in like all of the weird keys like D flat or F sharp or A flat, because they do come up. And so find songs that are in strange keys and play along with them. That was what I used to do way back in the day. And yeah, so if you get like an album, I think back in the day I used to play like along with worship tunes. Yeah. Did you think anything seemed weird about that update? Best affordable stuff, I think the classic vibe stuff is really half decent if you can get on with the neck. In fact, Johan is your guy to talk to about that. So he's got a thing for Squire Strats. And he seems to get on really well with some of the Squire vintage modified stuff and all those kind of things. Yeah, get 2 guitars. Or you could get 3 guitars and just learn a third of the keys. Right, let's try and do a tiny little bit more music somehow. This one. Requested that clearly. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Let's choose one that's actually a backing track. am I playing today? So, has anyone got any idea? Jason, come on, someone come up with that idea for how I'm going to make that useful and provide something of value on Patreon. I spent the time this week working on that George Benson tune in the backing track, but I don't know exactly because I'm just playing the actual thing. I'd take this guitar. Have I listened to Eric Johnson? Yeah, he's my favourite guitarist. Yeah. So I'll put up that backing track, the other one. Right. This is a K-Line Springfield. Hey, Karina. Right, I'm going to have to go and start transcribing now. Hopefully this was vaguely fun, vaguely interesting. I think next week I'm going to do something like Dolphin Dance or something like that. Unless anyone else has any requests. I don't. If I'm using the DAW, I do. It's my Randy Rhoads V, yeah. But in general, I just have it generally set to. This is 375 milliseconds and 500 milliseconds. I think that's roughly what Andy Timmons does. I think they're pretty decent thingies. Hi, Danny. But thank you everyone for stopping by. Has anyone got any requests for jazz tunes to do in the week? Let me know. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. Keep saying stopping by. You sound like tap dancing. You didn't comment on my intro, Jim, so I'm disappointed. Right, yeah, so that's me done. We're going to do this again next week. Hopefully it's interesting. Tension is a thing. So there's an amount of tension that you need, Steve. You don't want too much of it. There's a video Tom Quayle did called Lazy First Finger Syndrome. You might want to check that out. Keep a lightish touch, but there is a certain amount of tension that you need to make a note anyway. So you want to try that. But yeah, that's generally it's just a lot of practice seems to be the thing in general. But I'd say stick with it. Obviously I've been playing guitar for quite a while now. It's not something that I feel that I've really got. I have gradually got better at it, but there's still a long way to go with all of it. It's just more about trying to enjoy what you can do and enjoy your time playing the thing. Probably try not to compare yourself to others too much because that's depressing as well. But yeah, cheers then. Catch you all soon.